Hello everyone and welcome to another Starcraft 2 livecast. For this one we're playing a TvZ on Blue Shift LE. Blue Shift LE. There is a map in the map pool now where I believe we may be able to bring back the offensive planetary fortress rush versus Zerg.
Not enough minerals.
Actually, not the fortress rush, the troll build one where I put a planetary out as third and siege the natural from there. We forgot to send out a Bay block worker.
Additional supply depots required.
That's unfortunate.
Not enough minerals.
Right.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Engineering bay. All right, last two workers. One. And then we'll get the orbital.
Additional supply depots required. Insufficient Vespine gas. Insufficient Vespine gas. Command center upgrade complete.
Oh, jeez.
Insufficient Vespine gas. Our SCVs are under attack. Command center upgrade complete. Our SCVs are under attack. Base is under attack.
Well, that put me impossibly far behind, just from one stupid little mistake.
Not enough minerals.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to recover for this.
Add-on complete.
Oh, that's a drop. right? Maybe it's not.
Unacceptable landing zone. Unacceptable landing. Our SCVs are under attack. Our SCVs are under attack. Base is under attack.
I mean, if he follows up with Muse, this is a game over.
Our SCVs are under attack. Add-on complete. Our SCVs are under attack. Our SCVs are under attack. Command center upgrade complete. Base is under attack. Base is under attack. Base is under attack.
Can't build here.
So I think we can't build a planetary there.
Energy.
I basically just, I don't think there's anything I can do if he goes mutas. I'm just too broke. All stemming from one little mistake right at the very start.
Mineral field depleted. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
I can't build here.
Okay.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Add-on complete. Not enough. Upgrade complete. Not enough minerals.
Swarmos. Oh, I'm scared. I'm not anywhere close to getting Hellbats.
Not enough minerals. Not enough.
I don't even think I have the minerals for that.
Not enough. Research complete. Not enough minerals. Complete. Not enough minerals. Our SCVs are under attack. Add-on complete. Research complete. Insufficient Vespine gas.
Can't hold them alone.
Additional supply depots required.
I can see them coming from far away, maybe.
Our SCV's base is under attack. Additional supply depots add-on.
Doesn't even look like he's staying on Stormhouse.
Add-on complete. Additional supply depots required. Our additional supply depots required.
I don't know how I'm gonna stop this. If he doesn't transition and I survive, then I'm in good shape, but I don't know how likely that is.
Additional supply depots required. Not enough minerals. Additional supply depots required. Not enough minerals. Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots.
It's heating up out here.
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
It's a lot of stack defense he has.
Our SCVs are under attack.
It's heating up out here. Got any extra firepower?
Pure lords. Always more from those.
Upgrade complete. Mineral field. Your forces are under attack. Not enough energy. Additional supply depots required. Additional
This
supply
vessel
depots
requires
required.
assistance.
Additional supply depots required. Mineral field depleted. Additional supply depots required.
I'm in a heap of trouble. Got any extra firepower?
Additional supply depots required. Mineral field depleted.
I'm in a heap of
Base
trouble.
is under attack.
It's heating up out here.
Mineral field depleted.
Oh,
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
It's heating up out
Base
here.
is under attack.
god damn it.
This vessel requires
Oh, what a terrible place. There's nowhere to place auto turrets. Why did I come in that angle?
Vespine geyser exhausted. Command center upgrade complete. Our SCVs are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Base is under attack. Base is under attack.
Got any extra firepower?
this vessel requires assistance.
Ah!
Our SCVs are under attack.
I'm making my own mistakes. I think I might have been able to come back this game if I didn't, hurt myself here.
I can't build here.
Unacceptable landing zone. Mineral field depleted. Our SCVs are under attack. Your forces are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Your forces are under attack.
I wasn't repaired too. And when you're not repaired against Parasite Bomb, you lose everything.
Field depleted. Our SCVs mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
Got any extra firepower? It's heating up out here.
Vespine geyser exhausted. Command center upgrade complete.
Unacceptable, Commander.
Our Base SCVs
is under
are
attack.
under attack. Mineral field depleted.
Got any extra
Vespine geyser
firepower?
exhausted.
Unacceptable, Command. We are at maximum supply.
It's coming back.
Unacceptable.
Mineral field
It's
depleted.
heating up out here. It's heating up out here.
Mineral field depleted.
Got any extra firepower? It's heating up out here.
Vespine
Guess he's in a
geyser
lot of trouble, huh?
exhausted.
I didn't realize Hellbat's doing that well.
Got any extra firepower?
Vespine geyser exhausted.
It's heating up out here. Got any extra firepower?
Your forces mineral
under
field
attack.
depleted.
It's heating up out here.
Vespine geyser exhausted.
Got any extra firepower?
Vespine geyser exhausted.
The random arrival.
Mineral field depleted.
had this like moment. It's like, oh no, I left Raven's Idol out in the middle of the map. Oh no, there's a whole bunch of corruptors sitting outside a range in vision of the watchtower, clustering as tight as they can possibly get. And my Ravens all have full energy. What can I do here? Yeah, that game went back and forth. It opened horrible. Because of, a couple of Zerglings got in, which ruined my economy, which meant his follow-up Roach attack did very, very well. And then I thought I was just flat out dead to Mutalisk, but he went for Swarm Host instead, and I'd spent like all my minerals on missile turrets when the answer to Swarm Hosts is Hellbats. Because Swarm Hosts are very, not only do Hellbats do pretty well versus Locusts, but Swarm Hosts make for an immobile army, which means Hellbat Harass is much more powerful. But then I somehow survived the Swarm Host portion, and I thought I was coming back, but I kept making like bad move after bad move, like getting my Ravens caught by various things and not defending a base properly. And because this sort of thing, like, he did some focus firing, which is good by him. A lot of Zerg players don't even do that, so he's killing some workers when he realized the planetary wouldn't go down. But it's not the end of the world. I can produce 4 workers at a time at this point. So yeah, he's forcing some repair, and he's killing some workers. I'm okay with that. I kept sending SCVs to this watchtower, and they always got intercepted on the way. For example. Try to make the Locust land early over there. On attacks like that, you want to try to select your auto turrets, and if you can, also select your planetary, and then focus fire the roaches and the hydras. Because it is a smart way to attack with this composition, to just let the Locust wave take all the damage while your roaches and hydras attack from behind, and then when the Locusts are just about dead, you pull back, and that way you don't lose any real units, and you get to put in a lot of damage. So finally I got some Hellbats moving out, but they're going to run into stack defense that they can't get through. So that was a Hellbat scout for the amount of stack defense he has. So I'm going to try a different base. Getting some success. Interesting place to build his hive. So back in the day, Zerg players used to build their hive at their natural rather than their main base. Because the theory was, if you lose your natural as a Zerg player, you're probably going to lose the game anyways. You can't get knocked back to one base and survive. So if losing this hatchery means losing the game, you may as well give this hatchery the extra 1,000 hit points. And in some ways, the natural is easier to defend than the main against standard Terran builds, because there's a lot of dropping into the main that happens, where natural is usually kind of in the middle of your defense. And now in Legacy of the Void, since they're taking even more bases, maybe everything's kind of moved up a base. Now as a Zerg player, maybe if you lose your third base, you basically lose the game. So why not make your third base the one with the extra 1,000 hit points? Yeah, so this is where things are looking great for me, right? I held off the Stormhost waves, they didn't do a ton of damage. We're even killing off like Overlords and Roaches and stuff here and getting creep tumors. The only problem with killing all that stuff is my Ravens are very low on energy. If you look at these energy counts, like maybe half of them can place 1 auto turret and not a single one of them can place 2 auto turrets. But we killed off his Broodlords. We probably got some Stormhosts when we threw on everything here, including some workers, killed the Roaches, killed the Creep Tumors, killed the Overlords. Got him down to 50 workers. And then this kind of happened. I never made this a planetary, so he's going to be able to pick that off if he wants to. Deuce gets some counter damage here, which is pretty good. But he kills off my natural. I think I might have missed the part where I walked all these through Corruptors, which wasn't good. And then I attacked the Hydras from like the stupidest angle. Like when you attack Hydras, like if a Hydra's here, you only be able to put auto turrets here. That way your Ravens only have to get this close. But like to attack these Hydras, I have to put auto turrets here where it's like all unbuildable. It's all unbuildable terrain in front of these Hydras, so I need to basically fly right on top of them to throw down the auto turrets. Which means I'm taking a lot of damage on my Ravens in the process, probably losing a couple. But then the damage, even the unkilled Ravens become a problem, because now I got all these Ravens there in the red. I'm not finding a break in the action to be able to repair them. Got the end of the Stormhost, and I think this is where I walked right through the Corruptors, yeah. Luckily I didn't get Parasitic Bound at the same time. Looks like neither of us were watching our armies at that point, but, you know, Ravens don't have an A move like Corruptors do. So he still got damage done. And then we got hit by Parasitic. So I think we lost like 3 Ravens there. 4? 4, I think. We got a little lucky. You got 2 Parasitic Bombs off. One of them was on a weak Raven, so it immediately died. So Parasitic just stays where the dead Raven is. And then the other one I was able to peel away. But even when it's off of the Raven here, it's still doing damage. So that could have been a lot worse, but it still hurt because none of these things were repaired. And now because he has Broodlords, we have to attack into him. Right? Otherwise he'll just slowly pick away at my bases. But by having to attack into him means I need to voluntarily throw my Ravens in range of Parasitic Bomb. So that's never fun. And all of a sudden, our Hellbats are going to do a lot better than I expected them to. So his ground army consists of 3 Roaches. Broodlords can attack ground, but they're slow and far away. And then he's got 32 Corruptors and 5 Vipers, which aren't going to help at all in stopping a ground army. So while I'm all focused here, thinking it's a close game, and am I going to be able to survive, and making sure to send my Ravens in smaller chunks rather than, all 30 of them, asking for a tough parasitic bomb. But there's no answer to the Hellbats, which is why I didn't know what was going on. Taking down his newest bases. Yeah, he's just completely dead right now. These guys should not be here though. This is a select all army hockey. They can't help, so they may as well be out somewhere preventing my Ravens from getting in on him. Okay, I changed my mind. You probably should have left your corruptors up in your main base, where they're useless. It's something that did not work out well for you. Greatest thing about Hellbats is that you can A-move them. Something the Terran race doesn't have a whole lot of. Unlike the Protoss race, where basically every unit's A-movable. Not that a unit being A-moved makes it stronger or weaker. It just makes it simpler. It's one thing you don't really have to worry about. You send out Hellbats on A-move, and there's no simple counter to completely evaporate them. They're chunky, they got good hit points, they got good damage, they even have high damage, so they can even fight things like Ultralisk. Not amazingly well, but it's not like Marines where you send out 40 and one Ultra can kill it. Obviously, if you do want to micro the Hellbats, you can make them better. You can set up with more of a concave, which is nice for the unit that has a small range. For instance here, if I just A-move my Hellbats, went back too far. Where's the next wave? I thought I was right out a second ago. There we go. So if this wave of Hellbats were just on A-move, they would try to kill the spines, right? So you get some Hellbats lined up right here, and you get some Hellbats lined up right here. So maybe 3 here and maybe 4 here, and all the rest of them would be stuck in the back trying to find a way through. So this is an example where I was able to find a little bit of time to micro, and it was actually useful. Because now I can just kind of stutter step them forward, get them in on top of stuff. This way they're all attacking spines, maybe even getting some splash damage on other things. And where I think I would have ended up with 5 leftover Hellbats fighting this many spines without micro. Instead we got at least twice as many. Of course, during that time I was losing my main base without realizing it, so you could argue maybe not microing the Hellbats would have been better for a slow player. should always think of actions as a resource. Even as a fast player, even if you're Maru, right? There's always 12 things you could be doing during a fight, you know, including the micro and other tasks. And even like Mario can do maybe 6, right? So you always want to think of actions as a resource and how do you want to spend those resources, right? If I can only do 6 things right now, what are those 6 things? Or if you're Ketrock, I can only do half of one thing right now, which is that one thing I'm going to sloppily do. Right, I'm losing my main base right here. I'm cleaning up a locust wave here. I know that there's swarm hosts nearby that could attack. I still have Hellbats out on the map. I need to be making units. I could use taking more expansions, more command centers. I want to get a work on these watchtowers so I can see when the swarm hosts are coming in. Like, these are all tasks that I have at this very moment. And I need to think, okay, which tasks are the most important for me? And I think at this moment, the most important is to close this wall and to get my ravens back towards my main. You know, say it's at this point. That would be my job. Because I can see I don't have a natural anymore. My production is all exposed. So I need to be able to defeat this army and possibly set up a new base. So that's what I do. I bring this command center over here so it's ready to take us a new base and bring my ravens back to deal with this army. That's my top priority right now. At almost all points in the beginning of the game, your top priority is to be making workers. I mean, not if this is going on, but for first 5 minutes of the game, if you want to check a replay of yours, make sure your command centers are constantly making workers. And it's better to have your command center queued up, like with like 2 or even 3 workers queued up on it, than it is to have it idle. Because workers is the beginning of everything in the game. You know, workers give you economy give you army. And if you just have a larger economy than your opponent, it's almost like you're cheating. Like if I play someone who's Gold League, they might be as good or better in certain aspects of the game. Because, you know, obviously I'm not a mechanically strong player. But I got cheat mode on because I'm going to have 50 workers at the time my opponent only has 30. Because he doesn't put priority on that. Which equates to me just having like a way bigger army. I think Special was a good example of that. He's used to be known as Major, but he's a Mexican, I want to say. Mexican pro Terran player. And outside of Korea, he was probably the best Terran in the world. Probably always has been for the entirety of StarCraft 2. And where he's gotten better recently, back in the day when you watched him play, he would like drop units in his opponent's main, and he'd lose every unit, including the medevac, and not pick up in time. Or like he would drop on a spore, and he wouldn't pull away from the spore, so the spore would just kill his medevac. Or he'd have an army out in the middle of the map, and it would get attacked, and he wouldn't micro it all or pull it back because he didn't know what was happening. So you'd watch him play, and he would look so much worse than other foreign Terran players, but he was better than them. And that's because he was putting his action priority into his macro. Just like always making workers, building up the production, keeping his money low, spending all of it. And you do that better than any foreign Terran. You do it like Korean level. So from like a spectator's view, it looked like he was playing poorly, but the things that you weren't watching were the things that are actually more important than the actual fights. And that's the stuff he was like one of the best in the world at. So it's all about priority of action. Now, he played in Korea a lot and get crushed there. And that's because the Koreans could match his macro and do everything else better at the same time. But, yeah, it was just interesting to watch him play for that reason. Anyways, I've babbled long enough. We'll call it the end of this video. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'm out of here. Goodbye.